If at first you don't succeed, try again. The Dodgers will begin reporting to Camelback Ranch on Tuesday, though many have already moved their off-season workouts to the complex, and opened their second consecutive spring training as the National League's reigning champions. It has been almost 2 decades since any team went to 3 consecutive World Series. The New York Yankees did 4 years in a row from 1998 to 2001, and even longer since a National League team has done it. You have to go all the way back to the World War II era to find a 3-year run atop the NL. The 1942-44 St. Louis Cardinals did it. Perhaps more relevant for these Dodgers, only once in Major League history has a team lost in back-to-back World Series, as the Dodgers have done, and then returned to win the championship in the 3rd year, as the Dodgers vow to do, the 1923 Yankees of Babe Ruth and friends. Those Yankees did add a future Hall of Famer in Lou Gehrig during the 1923 season, though he played only 13 games in his MLB debut. Much of the focus on these Dodgers has been on what they couldn't do the past 2 Octobers, or what they didn't do this winter, sign Bryce Harper or trade for JT Realmuto. But rather than focus on what they missed out on, manager Dave Roberts plans to remind his team this spring what they have accomplished. I think there's going to be an intentional shift of narrative for me to the players as far as, this core group has done a lot of great things, said Roberts, whose teams have won 287 games over the past 3 seasons and extended a run of division titles to 6 in a row, the 3rd longest by any team in the divisional era. This organization is very successful, and I think you wouldn't get that from what's outside the organization, the people making the most noise. Roberts refers to the chattering class, amplified by Twitter, that views the Dodgers as merely the last loser for failing to win either of the past 2 World Series, labeling any season that doesn't end with a champagne party as a failure. Between vacations in Italy and Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and agreeing to a new 4-year contract, Roberts took note. It was something during the winter, and I can't recall what moment it was, but it was just really clear to me that this is some unfair criticism, Roberts said. When you tell me that there's one team that wins it all, and for us, with what we've done, that last year was all for naught, I refuse to believe that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. There really is only one way for the Dodgers to silence such talk: get back to another World Series and write a different ending. Flawed though they might have been, individually, the Dodgers shed a lot of productive players this offseason. Outfielders Matt Kemp and Yasiel Puig and pitcher Alex Wood were traded to the Cincinnati Reds. Catcher Yasmani Grandal signed with the Milwaukee Brewers, and shortstop Manny Machado remains among baseball's unemployed masses. That group combined to give the Dodgers 421 hits, 81 home runs, 258 RBIs and 223 runs last season, plus Wood's 151 2/3 innings, second on the team behind Clayton Kershaw. It's a lot to replace, and the Dodgers intentionally shuffled the deck a bit, as Roberts put it, betting on a more balanced roster, with the addition of outfielder A.J. Pollock and the return of shortstop Corey Seager, a renewed commitment to grit, personified by veteran catcher Russell Martin, and investment in their bullpen, Joe Kelly. I think this team is just as talented, for me, Roberts said, citing one of the deepest groups of starting pitchers in baseball and a bullpen fortified by the signing of Kelly. And I think in practice it's better because it's a more balanced ball club. Pollock is a big part of that. Now on any given night, regardless of who we're facing, it's going to be a tough offense to navigate. I think getting arguably our best player from 2 years ago back healthy is something that's a big deal. I just don't see any weaknesses with this ball club, where last year you could argue if we faced a lefty we could be exposed a little bit. Dodgers president of baseball operations Andrew Friedman spent much of his winter trying to fill vacancies in the front office. Hanging over every move, though, was the overarching question of what it will take for the Dodgers to finish their unfinished business. A big focus for us this offseason was, how do you achieve more consistency, Friedman said. I think the team last year was the most talented team I have ever been around. For a host of reasons, some bad luck, some real, we weren't as consistent. And I think a big thing for us is to avoid the games where we score 0, 1 or 2 runs. As often as we can, score 3 or more, and we will win a lot of games doing that, especially with our pitching staff. The Dodgers were held under 3 runs in a game 43 times last season and lost 39 of them, many early in the year, as injuries to Seager and Justin Turner fueled a World Series hangover that made their 6th consecutive NL West title their most difficult. 2 years in the World Series is fun. Awesome. But that feeling at the end is not. Dodgers closer Kenley Jansen said. You want to have that great feeling.